Coming up on today's show, you've seen the hype video. We have charismatic Chris Farrow here. We discuss the Cruiserweight Championship, getting started in CCW, one of his favorite wrestlers of all time, and more on this 83rd episode of the Daily Wrestling News Show. This is the Daily Wrestling News for April 23rd, 2021. We are powered by the Eastern Observer. My name is Ryan Joy, and I'm coming to you live from the Minutes to Bell Time studios on the beautiful Treasure Coast of the Sunshine State. And I'm joined, as mentioned, by charismatic Chris Farrow. How are you doing, Chris?
Doing fine. Good morning. How you doing?
Great. Well, welcome to the show. I'm excited to have you here, and I'm excited to have the CCW Cruiserweight Championship here as well. So, and Chris, you're calling in from the gym where you have been just recently got off work, and then you got a little bit of shut eye, and then you're back here to get a pump in before the show tonight, right?
Yeah, I took a Red Bull.
Well, I guess I want to start the show. Just tell us, how does it feel to be Cruiserweight Champion?
Look, I know this sounds weird, but it's still kind of hard to soak in. Like, whoa, like I literally achieved a childhood dream. I'm pretty sure everybody had a dream to be like a champion or whatnot. My literal dream was to be like a cruiserweight champion, though. So I definitely did that. And
you did it. And so tell us about the tournament, though, because this was not like a normal, 8-person tournament that you see on, TV or whatever. This is a big tournament.
Right, man. Well, when you work hard like me, you make it happen. So I ended up being the last 4, ended up beating 2 guys in one night, did my thing, became the first ever Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, 64 people though. I mean, that's a crazy field. I don't think a lot of people, when they think of tournaments, they don't think of 64 people. That's crazy. How did you get down to the final 4? Like, how many matches did you have to work to get there?
Oh, I don't even remember. It's about like 6 matches I had to go through.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But the same night, I had to wrestle Mr. C, and I had the privilege to wrestle Alan S2S Martinez. He's a name in Chile, so he was really easy to work with. So was Mr. C, and those guys was really giving it to me too. My jaw was hurting; it was hurting a lot after that. But I did my thing, and we all know what we already know was the result of everything that happened that night. So
yeah, you mentioned Mr. C. I think Neilio was on the show Monday, and he was telling us that Mr. C had to cut some weight to get into the tournament to begin with, but by the time he got to that match with you, he was a little bit sized up. So that must have been tough. I mean, you weren't working against just cruiserweights in the cruiserweight tournament at that point.
Met him before that. I've never met him. I met him that same night. Pretty cool guy. You know what I'm saying? Super easy to work with as well. But yeah, man, he hits hard. Like, oh my God. My jaw felt loose, bro, after the whole night. But like I said, when it's all said and done, though,
you got it. And
that was tough.
Yeah, I mean, I was there in the Boca Black box when to see you win it. So, I mean, awesome. So what do you plan to do to make your run as champion as memorable, I guess, to both you and all the fans that are watching CCW? You're the first champ. So how are you going to make that first title run memorable?
Well, it's already memorable because I am the first ever Cruiserweight champion. But I'm just going to continue to do what I've been known to do. Just work hard, go to the gym every single day like I usually do. Come to training on time or earlier every single week like I usually do. I just need to switch my schedule up to make more time for the shows, so then I can really show out and show people who's the real Cruiserweight champion,
Yeah, man, that's you. And in WWE when TJP won the cruiserweight tournament, he only had like a 30-day run as champion because one of your favorites took that title from him. Look, I even have a card here. It's Mr. Brian Kendrick.
Yes.
He took that title for him. TJP only had like a 30-day reign. So I guess I heard you talk about Brian Kendrick as one of your favorites on the Paradox Pod. So I guess if he were here right now, what would you say to him? He might be looking at that cruiserweight title and salivating.
I would tell him come get it. I have been talking to Paul London, actually. Paul London, Brian Kendrick, top 5 favorite tag teams of all time. I've been talking to Paul London as well lately, and I would like to be under Brian Kendrick as he can train me. That would be pretty nice. That's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. I grew up watching from his time as being known as Spanky to being a tag team with Paul London. He was the longest reigning tag team champion, during his time before the New Day did it. Way like what 8 years, 9 years later, or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to work under him, like maybe pick his brain. He could teach me what he knows because I look at him like he's about my size, maybe. So that's why I kind of grew more to wrestlers like him and Paul London.
Yeah, my understanding actually right now is that Brian Kendrick, is no longer like active on the roster, and he's actually what he's doing is producing and coaching and stuff. So all you gotta do is just make it there, man. Then he'll be working under him. So,
I am.
So you got this. So you have a title defense tonight. It's your first title defense, right? And it's against Stefan Rivers. So give us the scouting report. What's going on with him?
I don't know. Just another guy looking for a shot. I don't know. But I'm going to train tonight, and I am going to walk out Cruiserweight Champion. And I did mess up my foot recently, but I'm walking again, and I will make it tonight and successfully defend my title.
Yeah, I saw people can go to Chris's Instagram and look at his stories, and you can see him mess up that foot pretty good. But you seem to be, before the show, you got up and walked away. You seemed like you were fine now. So I guess the icing routine worked.
Yeah, hot water, Epsom salt, Red Bull.
Yeah, you do what you got to do to get ready for the ring, right?
Yeah.
So tell us how you first got involved with CCW.
Oh man, so I was working at Publix, man. Like I wasn't making no type of money. Like I wanted to pursue professional wrestling because I figured like my skateboarding career, whatever I had going on with skateboarding, I just really figured like, I'm getting older. This is not working. It's not bringing in income. It's just making me, popular, but
Mm-hmm.
it's bringing in income. It wasn't bringing in moves for me to make income. So I was like, man, I got to figure out something else to do because I'm ultra athletic and I'm smart and whatnot. And like, I stopped watching wrestling for years. It wasn't because how people say, oh, I started watching wrestling because X, Y, and Z. No, I just got so caught up in other things. Like I'm trying to make it with the skateboarding thing. I'm constantly trying to film this and etc. So I was like, I was working at Publix and what happened? Like, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this job. I'm tired of working all these jobs. I work so many jobs, you name it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to wrestling school. I want to go train to be a wrestler. So what was it? It was like July 2019. I started to train, but like I said, I was working at Publix, so I wasn't making. I was only making like 10.50 an hour, 10.25 an hour, and I was barely getting any hours. But I had the privilege. Shout out to Pablo. I had a privilege. He let me train there for like 3 months for like free. But he was like, I got to start bringing in some income. This it's not going to be free forever. So I was like, hey, I'm going to take time off. And when I got a better job, I started making more money. Then that March, I came back. I gave him $500 straight cash. Here, take it straight down cash. And that was my deposit. And since then, I've been there every single week.
So that's interesting. So, July 2019 is only, that's less than 2 years ago. So in less than 2 years, you started training and took a break and then came back and got to where you are now with the Cruiserweight Championship over your shoulder. So that's pretty quick, don't you think?
Yeah, but when you work hard and not to sound cliche, but when you work hard, you never give up, and you get what you deserve. I got what I deserve.
There you go. So what's next, though? So you're the Cruiserweight Champion. You're gonna have a long run. Nobody's gonna ever take that belt from you. We know that. That's established, right? But you gonna be a belt collector? You're gonna go after the tag titles, the heavyweight championship. What's up next?
Actually, if possible, I would love to be a double belt holder. I would love to be a tag team. I got Javon McNabb. That's like my little bro. When I started training, like when I came back in last year March, he was already there. That kid's only like 16 years old. He bumps like a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can go. That's me and him have really good chemistry together. I like wrestling him and being a tag team with him. So my next goal would either be hopefully I'm not reaching, but Southeastern Championship. I did have a title match for that with Bugs. I really like that match. Shout out to Bugs Moran. But I would love to be tag team champions with Javon. His name is Zero Gravity. Ring.
Okay. The just a couple of comments coming in here from the viewers. Travis, who's one of the hosts of the show, he's talking about your Cruiserweight Championship was, like the NCAA tournament. And Chris Thrasher from the Paradox Pod, who we've already referenced, has given me a little insight into you before we got here. They're going to be in the house, as will I. We'll be in the house to watch your
Paradox. Shout out to Chris Thrasher. Shout out to Joseph Anthony. Shout out to them boys because they gave me like my first real interview as well. So.
Yeah, and at the time, your name was Bruce Leroy, right? You weren't Chris Farrow. What was the evolution to go? Chris Farrow is your real name, right?
Yes, my actual name. A lot of people thinking my name is fake or something. I don't understand that.
I must, it's a cool name, so So
I was told in high school about this girl. She was like, "Oh, your name sounds like it's gonna be famous." She used to write my name a lot. It's like,
well, stay tuned, folks. He's got the Cruiserweight Championship. Jackal Stevens, better watch out. Sounds like you're going for the Southeastern Championship. So
cool. He's so hot.
I think I did see that you had that match with Bugs Moran at Bash at the Brew. He was the Southeastern champ at the time. So
easy.
Yeah, but he got you there though. So
yeah, he did, man. I was like I almost had him with that roll up pin. Man, I can't wait for that video to come out. It still hasn't come out, but I can't wait for that match to come out. I'm still like, I'm asking like, hey, can I see that match? I think I did pretty good. Like
yeah. I'd say so. I got a bunch of pictures from that match. I'll have to send them to you afterwards. But
thank you.
So I always think about this. Wrestling it always feels like it's sort of like a niche audience. So I'm wondering, like, what did your friends and family think when you started training, or when you first announced, "Hey, this is what I want to do"?
My friends were all for it, like my closest friends. But there were people like really like getting at me, like people that I used to be friends with and stuff. Oh, you're small. You're not gonna do that. You can't do that. Like I have like text message proof of like a lot of this stuff. And it's like, look at me now. Like I remember you guys do it. I remember you guys said this and that about wrestling. And look at me now. Dude, I grew because I'm going to the gym and whatnot, but I'm still relatively small. But like look at me now. Like those same people were hating on me, telling me, man, you're not gonna make it. Why you want to do that? I'm like, I'm a warrior.
So did you? I mean, you're a small guy, right? You're under the 200-pound limit, but well under it, right? But I guess when you started to train to become a wrestler, did you hit the gym harder? And like, are you bigger now than you were then?
Yeah, I'm bigger now than I was then. Always been athletic, always been toned, always had some type of muscles on me. But um, since I started wrestling at I was 144 pounds. Now I'm like 158 or around 160 because I took creatine. Shout out to first of all, shout out to Botavian. He has a nutrition shop in Coral Springs. Holla at him. He gave me creatine stuff. I drank a lot of protein every single day. I have like 2 to 3 cans of protein every single day. I still skateboarded just to maintain you know maintain like a certain you know
Physique,
like
right?
maintain like my body shape or whatever. I don't know. I can't really explain it, but still skated. I guess for cardio, I would say. And I've been eating a lot. A lot. I eat everything that comes my way.
Well, that'll definitely put the pounds up. But I mean, if you put on 15, 16 pounds of muscle, that's a big deal, right? I mean, that's body changing right there, right? So,
Yeah, I hit the gym literally almost every day. Yeah.
well, that's great. So
Fun
you've
too.
mentioned skateboarding a bunch of times already, and you have a pretty strong following there, I guess. But what are you showing us there? You got a scar or something, or a tattoo?
That too.
Oh
Keep
yeah.
pushing.
Do
Yeah.
you, have you found that skateboarding audience is crossover at all? Have you found that some of them are like, oh man, you're wrestling now and stuff
I
like
get
that?
a lot like I get asked, oh, dude, you need to incorporate skateboarding into wrestling, and it's not that it's hard to do. It's just like it's kind of like how am I going to do that because my gear, then I'm wearing like my wrestling shoes under my gear, and I've skated in my wrestling shoes before, and it's actually pretty nice. But it's like I want to be a real skateboarder when I come to the ring. I want to do like a kick flip on the way, you know.
Yep, yep.
Like I wanna really like show off, maybe switch 360 on the way to the ring. But Darby Allin's doing it. Shout out to Darby Allin too. He says he likes my videos, so he's
Nice.
really cool. Yeah. But yeah. Somehow I gotta try to incorporate skateboarding into professional wrestling, like somehow, and I think it really would work. To be honest, I
Well,
think it would work.
I mean, do me a favor and don't put a bunch of tacks and stuff underneath your skateboard and then skate on somebody like Darby did to Ricky Starks. That looked nasty.
Oh yeah, I saw that actually. Only reason I saw that it happened. Somebody, Thrasher Magazine posted it on their Instagram. Thrasher Magazine, shout out to Thrasher. It's the biggest skateboard magazine in all of skateboarding. It's the Bible. It's the skate Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Thrasher life.
And they shouted that out, so that's pretty cool. They little wrestling connection there. So I guess there is some crossover.
I love skateboarding.
You mentioned your gear just briefly a few seconds ago. I actually have you were talking more about your shoes and stuff, but I have a picture here of your gear. It's pretty flashy, man. Do you have somebody that helped you with the design work on it, or is it
No, I came up with the design myself, but shout out to Break Night. He does gear for people that's in AEW currently. Um, he's done a bunch of gear for pretty popular wrestlers. I can't remember all of them, but I think he's done Jake St. Patrick's gear. I think I forgot who else, but he's done a lot of people's gear that's on AEW right now actually. And I came up with the design. I had to FaceTime him to specifically tell him how I want it because I'm not too much of a texting person, honestly. I'm like a
Mhm.
calling person. So I had to FaceTime. He's all in Detroit as well, so it took me a while to even get my stuff.
to
But
convey your message? Yeah. I mean, so what kind of? I mean, are there design elements in here that we should note that mean anything? Like any of the
it's,
colors or anything like that? Are they have meaning for you or?
yeah, it's based off Buzz Lightyear, kind of.
Oh yeah, sure it is. Absolutely. Now that you say that, for sure.
Like, it's a saying like at CCW's like Pablo is always like, don't wear red, don't wear black, blue. So I was like, okay, what's the color that stands out that nobody's really wearing? Jake St. Patrick wears green, Bo wears blue. It's a couple guys that wear red and black already. So I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, green is already my favorite color. So okay, I'm like, let me do green and purple and I do like Buzz Lightyear. Then I'm a high flyer, so I'm like Infinity and
Sure.
beyond. And then
Yeah.
I add the 954 in there because of Broward County.
Yeah, that always gets you a big pop when they introduce you from Broward County too.
Yeah, I gotta rep my city, bro. Like my county, even though what I'm saying. You're gonna have haters everywhere you go, but I love my city. I love my county.
I tell you, every 4 years or so, your county gets a lot of press.
Yeah. I
um,
know.
so I have a couple of, or I have one that kind of interesting question for you about wrestling in general. And I ask it to everybody, so I'm curious to hear what your answer is. But in wrestling, there's lots of stereotypes, lots of stigmas and stuff. So can you identify a stereotype or stigma about pro wrestling that the world needs to drop that's not true?
Okay, people always say, wrestling's fake and whatnot. But I mean, I end up having guys' blood on my hands that wasn't mine. I mean, you can look at my foot right now; it's pretty swollen. Um, you know, people really do get hurt in the ring. People are like, oh, it's fake and blah blah blah. Well, step into the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like I always have this argument with certain people that's always like, oh, I used to watch wrestling when The Rock, and you ain't never watched wrestling. You was never a fan. People always talk about, oh, I used to watch wrestling when it was real. No, because there's so many great athletes in wrestling. Like how, like you only watch WWE, that's all you know. You know what I mean? Like people always say stuff like that. It really hits me because it's like, yo, I'm really doing this right now. I'm really trying to make it there. So imagine what happens when I make it there. What you going to say then?
Yeah, there you go. So is fake? Is that like the worst? That's like a bigger. I watched that Young Rock show recently, and
It's good.
that one kid in high school said it was fake, and man, he punched him right out. Is it like somebody telling you to F off? It's like the same.
It's a legitimate. It's a combat. It's still a combat sport in a
Right.
sense. You know what I'm saying? And like you work hard for things like this. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't just, oh, we're gonna give you this belt. No, I've been in the gym every single week. I'm at training on time every single week or earlier, and I show up. I do my job. Whatever they ask me to do, I do it. No questions asked. You got to be coachable as well when it comes to wrestling, bro. They always say stuff like that. So I try to be as coachable as possible when it comes to wrestling. Because I want to make it. I want to make it out of Broward County, dude. Like, it's time to do big things, bro.
You love it, but you want to grow out of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I want to do a lot of cool things in wrestling, man. Like, it's just time to move on from everything. Skateboarding, I love Broward County, but I'm gonna have to move on from it eventually. You know what I'm saying? I'm always rep it, but my biggest dream is to make it in wrestling and travel around the world. I don't plan on staying here for long.
Well, South Florida, get Chris Farrow right now while you can, because he is planning to move on and do big things. Chris, what are some of the wrestling that you watch on television? Do you watch any of it these days?
No, I just watch YouTube all day. I keep up with like wrestling news. Shout out to Slap Rock. Shout out to WrestleMania. I like those. I watch wrestling news, but I watch old matches. Like I watch Ruthless Aggression. I watch a lot of old TNA matches because I'm at like when I watch wrestling, I like to watch wrestling for the psychology because like I'm trying to figure out how these guys work, how they sell, how they react to certain moves, how they execute certain moves. I don't just watch it because, oh, this is a great match, or because I'm trying to learn and see what I can use for myself that will work good for me.
Gotcha. Well, there is a battle going on at NXT right now, and I'm asking everybody that comes on the show how you are landing on this. Now, I think you can answer the question even if you are not current, but there's a huge feud going on. It's a feud as old as time. Farrow, are you a dog person or a cat person? Because that is the feud that's going on right now at NXT.
I'm gonna be real with you. I like both because my friend who I live with, who I room with, he has both. Um,
This is crazy. Cats and dogs living together. What's going on here? So,
yeah, I don't know. It's a very integrated area I live in. um, oof, uh, I think I'm a cat person.
all right. You're with Io Shirai. Frankie Monet will
I
have to.
like I like watching her. I don't watch. Like I said, I don't watch. I honestly don't watch much WWE. I just keep up with the news, but I've seen her. I like her. I like Io Shirai. Oh, I've talked to Robert Stone a couple times. Speaking of NXT, he's super cool. He's
Oh
really
yeah.
good.
I think I saw a picture somewhere of you and him. It might have been on Facebook or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I've met him like 5 or 6 times. He's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm going to tell some people about some things that they can check out. That other projects that I'm on and partners and stuff. When I come back, though, I want you to tell everybody where they can get in touch with you and everything. And then I have a big announcement coming up. So, so stay tuned for just 2 seconds, folks. Check out the Primetime Rundown every Friday at 6 p.m. Join Joey Zarzanka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca Friday nights for the Primetime Rundown. They take you through the world of sports. The show kicks off at 6 p.m. on the Eastern Observer. And then the Essential Wrestling Podcast, join Al Carl hosts that along with me and John Smith and John DeCani, Gary Mahaffey. We do our week of updates and highlights in the world of wrestling. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. every Tuesday. It can be your lead into a live wrestling on CCW's YouTube. So check that out. And the Daily Wrestling News Show, we're typically only here Monday through Thursday. We've got this special interview with Chris today, so it makes us we're here live on Friday. And Chris, it's that time. Tell us where people can find you on social media and everything.
I'm more active on Instagram. My Instagram is Chris Farrow. That's first name, last name, then 954. Shout out to Broward. So that's all together. So Chris Farrow 954 is my Instagram. Also my YouTube, I started uploading content again. I just didn't have much passion to do it, but I got so much stuff coming out that I haven't even uploaded on YouTube yet. I like to edit. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm working on that I haven't put up yet. I do have a Facebook fan page. You can go ahead and like it. It's Chris Farrow -page, or you could just search Chris Farrow 954. You'll find my fan page. Please like.
Yes. And of course, look for Chris to come out. He's got a match with Bugs Moran. We hope maybe hits alive sometime soon or something like that. Or
that was pretty cool. He's cool to work. So.
And check Chris out tonight. If you're down here in South Florida, do go check out Chris tonight as he makes his first title defense against Stephon Rivers.
Cry me a river.
That's what he'll be doing when the match is over, right?
Yeah, so. Man.
All right. Well, as we close up here, Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Really appreciate it. I do have one announcement here. I'm going to play it in video as we close out the show. So, Chris, anything else you want to say before I close it out?
Do whatever you want to do and achieve all your dreams. And I can't curse on here, but get what everybody got to say, man. Keep going, dude. Like, everybody's gonna hurt you and say things that's gonna hurt you, but you got to keep going. You got to be tough, because at the end of the day, you're by yourself, and greater things are ahead of you if you're watching this.
Well said, man. I will cut that into a clip and we'll push that out everywhere. There's some inspiration from Chris Farrow this morning.
True story.
All right, for Chris, I am Ryan. As we leave the show today, here's something coming up on Monday's Daily Wrestling News Show. So stay tuned.